still. No one truly knew what became of Atasa Atasa. Some said the mermaid overpowered him and bound him beneath the river, turning him into a spirit guard. Others swore they saw a burst of flame rise briefly above the water surface, a sign, perhaps, that he escaped using his powers. But from that night on, the river was never the same again. The villagers no longer dared to draw near. The water remained calm, almost watchful, as if something powerful now slept beneath it, waiting. And far below in the quiet deep, Tamuno and Emira sat side by side, their eyes glowing faintly as the songs of the mermaids echoed once more. Songs not of vengeance this time, but of sorrow, love, and memory. The land of 7 rivers had become a land of ghosts and famine. Every path that once echoed with children's laughter was now silent. The farms were dry and cracked, and even the birds no longer sang above the trees. It was as if the entire land had fallen asleep under a heavy curse. The villagers had tried everything, offerings, rituals, charms, but nothing worked. When the 7 hunters failed to liberate them from their sufferings and punishment, the people began to live in fear, whispering that the river goddess was beyond anger, that she was now mourning and vengeful. With no hope left, they turned to the only people who might still have a link to the river: Tamuno's parents.
It was a difficult decision. For 7 years, Tamuno and the mermaid Emira had vanished into the river's depths. His parents had waited day after day, sitting by the river bank, praying to see their son rise from the waters, but the river never answered. Now, the same villagers who once mocked them for birthing a river son began to gather at their home, weeping and begging. They came in groups, old men with walking sticks, mothers holding weak children, and youths whose eyes carried more fear than strength. Their voices trembled as they spoke. "Please, Mama Tamuno, you alone can speak to your son. The land is dying. If the goddess does not lift her hand from us, we will all perish." Tamuno's mother sat quietly for a long time. Her husband had passed away months earlier from sickness, his body too weak to fight the hunger that had spread across the land. She looked at his old stool, the one he used to sit on while waiting for Tamuno's return, and her eyes grew wet. She feared the river. Everyone did, but a part of her, the part that carried Tamuno in her womb, still believed her son was alive somewhere beneath those waters. That night she couldn't sleep. The sound of the wind reminded her of Tamuno's laughter as a child, and the croaking frogs sounded like voices calling from the deep. By dawn, she made her decision. She rose from her mat, tied her wrapper firmly around her waist, and stepped outside. The air was cold, the ground damp with dew. Villagers were already gathered, waiting in silence. "If my son lives beneath that river," she said softly, "then a mother's love reached where no warrior's spear could." The people began to cry and kneel around her. Some tried to stop her, fearing she would not return, but she only smiled weakly. "I have lost everything," she whispered. "If this is what the gods demand, then let it be." With the determination of a mother, she started walking towards the river. The villagers watched from afar, afraid to step closer. Tamuno's mother knelt by the edge, tears streaming down her cheeks. She lifted her hands to the sky and prayed aloud, her voice trembling but clear. "O goddess of the 7 rivers, mother of the deep, forgive the foolishness of men. Spare this land. If my son still breathes beneath your waters, let him hear his mother's cry." For a moment, the wind stopped. Even the leaves refused to move. The villagers held their breath. Then, a ripple appeared on the surface of the water. It grew wider, circling slowly, and from the center of the river came a faint glowing light.
Some villagers screamed and fled. Others fell to their knees, but Mama Tamuno did not move. She stayed kneeling, her tears falling freely as she whispered her son's name. Tamuno. The light grew stronger, spreading across the water like the first rays of dawn. And somewhere deep in the river, something stirred. From the depths of the river, Tamuno rose. The waters parted gently as the mermaid appeared from every direction, their eyes fixed on him.